Hi guys, welcome back. So let's pick some starting teams and some benches for the first round of the Autumn Nations Cup. Now, England versus Georgia, the only changes to the squad is Watson and Singleton are injured. Mitchell's back available at scrum half if they need him. I don't see a lot of changes in the pack, to be honest. Certainly in the front five, they're all the same. Mako, George, Sinclair, Itoje and Hill. Big test in the scrum, of course. Georgia were slightly disappointing in their warm-up. I expect them to be better. You could start Genge, but I don't think there's any rationale for that. I think Mako's still playing well. You could bring in Marler, of course. He's back available if you want to shore up that scrum. But he's only just come back from injury, so I don't think that's the way to go. And Itoje and Hill need lots of game time, as I think this is the first choice second row pairing going forward. Hill didn't look nervous at all in his first game. Like the physical way he plays rugby. Ideally no yellow card this time though. So changes you can see in the back row. Curry and Underhill stay. I thought they played really well. Billy drops to the bench. It's just rotation really. I don't think Billy played badly, but he didn't do anything to say I must start. Earl's been on fire. Every time he's played for England he's looked great. So let's start that young, dynamic, quick back row. Earl's perfectly confident there, perfectly comfortable at number 8. I don't think that's a problem. Also give Billy a little bit of a shot in the arm saying, look, serious competition here. It's probably the first time I haven't started Billy, but I don't think, there's no divine right to start for England, so I think it's the way to go, especially against Georgia. I think let's mix it up a little bit in that back row. Youngs and Farrell starting halfbacks again. I don't see any reason to change that. Now, changes in midfield. The Slade, Joseph, I thought the balance was all off in that midfield selection. But Slade did impress me at 12. Now, I have been saying play Lawrence at 12, but he looked pretty nervous when he came on last time. So let's put him at 13 at his favourite position, put the experienced Slade inside him, and they can swap around depending on attacking moves and stuff anyway. So that's why I'm going Slade 12, Lawrence 13. Watson out injured. Let's put Thorley straight in for the start. Let's see if he's got what it takes at international level. Physically, I've got no doubt he does. It's just mentally, decision making. Will he get tunnel vision? Those sorts of things we'll have to see. And I really want Malins at fullback, replacing Furbank. Furbank, a perfectly decent player, but Malins, I believe, is on a different level. Plus, Malins can then cover 10, which means you can have this 6-2 split on the bench, which I want because I want Jack Willis on that bench. I want him coming on. He needs to play for England. He's that good. The other change in the forwards replacements, I want Ribbons on the bench. I think he's more dynamic and would make more of an impact at second row. Like I said, Billy coming off the bench. And Daly's back fit. I wouldn't start him straight away because he's just come back from injury. And also, if you have him on the bench, it enables the 6-2 split because he can cover everywhere in the back line apart from scrum half. And I'd probably have, Malins covering 10. Okay, that's my team for England v Georgia. Let me know what you think and what you guys would do. Ireland, have a quick look through the squad, see what stands out for me. Then let's pick what I think is their best team. So we've got Billy Burns in. Now, there's questions around Sexton. I'll talk about Sexton in a minute. But who's going to be his successor? What if he gets injured? Well, Billy Burns is an option. He's very attacking. He's very exciting. Do I think he's going to be the guy to take over from Sexton when Sexton's time is up? I'm not so sure, to be honest. But we may well see him on the pitch, so let's see what he can do. It certainly brings a different style to Sexton. Ross Byrne is the guy you'd think who would be taking over from him, but let's see. Other guys I'm interested in, James Lowe. Obviously, James Lowe now comes online. His availability is coming, and I think he's going to be great. I really do. He's been the best winger in Ireland, I think, for quite a long time with Leinster. Now he's available for the national team. Yeah, that's exciting. That's something for Irish fans to really get into. I mean, Stuart McCloskey is interesting. He's been there and thereabouts. He's got a few caps. And loads of you guys do pick him in your teams. I think it'd be great to see him on the pitch, see what he can do. Especially now you've got Ringrose with his injury. There is a gap for a third centre. Could he come in as a dark horse to take it? Jacob Stockdale, of course, plenty of chat. I mean, when I did my review on the Six Nations, I was quite, praiseworthy of Stockdale's attacking game. He does hit the line hard, he is dangerous, but yeah, he is a liability at the back, not under the high ball but particularly, but positioning, when you get him one-on-one, he can make poor decisions, he can be a bit heavy-footed, so you fancy your chances when attacking against him. Should he stay at 15 is the answer. Will Connors had a good introduction to international rugby, but some questions around, is he big enough, etc. I'd like to see the battle between him and Van der Fleer really kick off so they can push each other on. Same with Caelan Doris, had an okay end of the Six Nations, needs time, incredibly young, he's going to physically mature, so yeah, looking forward to seeing more of him. Another guy I think we need to see more of is Roland Kelleher. I really think they've got to get him some game time at hooker. So yeah, let's have a look at my team. This is what I think is Ireland's strongest team for this Autumn Nations Cup. Now, if I say 8 nations at some point, I'm sorry, I can't get it out of my head. It's not the 8 nations, even though I think that's a cooler name. But whatever. Okay, here we go. Cian Healy, Rob Herring, Andrew Porter. I think that is their best lineup at the moment. Definitely waiting for Furlong to come back in, and also I'd like to see Kelleher get in there at some point, but at the moment I think that's the way to go. I would make a change at second row. I think Henderson should come back in, adds a bit more bulk, a bit more power potentially than Byrne. Not that Byrne's done anything particularly wrong, but let's see Henderson and Ryan as a pairing. And in the back row, one change for me, I'm going to rotate Connors. I'm not going to say Connors did anything wrong. I just think Van der Fleer is as good a player. Let's give him a crack now for a few games and really let them bounce off each other. So Connors is rotated out rather than dropped for Van der Fleer. In the backs, I cannot see any point of changing the half-backs, even though they haven't been unbelievable, they've been okay. There's just no one really, I think, knocking on the door that would be better. A quick note actually about Sexton's, when he came off the pitch, when he was substituted, he was shaking his head, disgruntled, petulant, and for me it's not really a story, because that's Johnny Sexton. He's always been like that. He's always had that in his locker. I mean, what you get alongside that is brilliant competitiveness, willing to win, very high standards. But he does do that. He does chuck his arms up in the air. He does whinge. He does moan. Andy Farrell made him captain. He wasn't going to change. So what do you expect? I mean, he's not really even a story for me because it's just kind of what he does sometimes. Anyway, leave that one alone. In the back line, Aki and Henshaw 100% carry on in the centres. I think they've both been looking very good. In the backs, in the back three, quite a few changes. James Lowe in, 100%. Their best winger, let's get him in. It's not like he's new, if you like. He's been training with them for a while. They know all about him. I don't think it's a problem bringing him straight in. Andrew Conway stays on the other wing, also as your backup fullback. And at fullback, let's give Keenan a go. I think they might as well try a few options at fullback. He likes playing fullback. He's looked very accomplished, very slick on his wing. So let's see if he can see equally slick at fullback. I think his positioning is certainly going to be under scrutiny, but he's certainly more fleet-footed. I expect him maybe to pick up better position, to recover a bit better than Stockdale. So, and Stockdale actually, he goes onto the bench, so giving him a chance to redeem himself, but I think he is on thin ice, to be honest. I think really maybe they just need to say, right, you're a winger, you're a power threat winger, and let's use you like that. Otherwise it could, jeopardise his international career. On the bench, Kelleher 100% needs to come in. Heffernan's done nothing particularly wrong, but Kelleher's the future, he needs game time. Byrne drops to the bench, so Deland drops out. Marnie's done well off the bench, so let's keep him there. And Ross Byrne and, like I said, Stockdale on the bench. Gibson Park back up 9. I think that's their best team. A few tweaks, a few changes. Hopefully they will build on their performances in the Six Nations and get better. Tell me what you think of that team. Let's talk about Scotland's squad. The stories are in the backs. Russell and Hastings out, their main 2 fly halves. It's a problem, but there's a guy to the rescue. His name is Duncan Weir, and I think he's really good. Underrated potentially, could even be as good as Hastings overall. I think he's played great for Worcester. He's very tough. He's a good competitor, good kicker. He's got a bit of a running game on him as well. Because of his small stature, he can be underestimated, but I think he's quality, and I think he's ready to lead a team, very confident. So I think he could come in and actually do a really good job. We'll see, of course. A lot of pressure on him. Also, we've got Hidalgo Klein coming in. I don't know why they need more scrum halves, but Hidalgo Klein has been great for Exeter, often coming off the bench, making a big difference. So why not chuck them all in there? Horn stays in. I still think he's the number 2, but Hidalgo Klein would be an excellent starter as well. Anyway, Sam Johnson. Will he have a chance to come and take the 12 shirt back? Certainly a few questions around Lang just coming straight into the team. What did Johnson do wrong? My theory was they want to use Lang's experience as a 10 to distribute as well, but we didn't see a huge amount of that, but let's have a look. Maitland comes back in a little lucky after his misdemeanours with the Barbarians. And Duncan Weir, like I said, to the rescue. Let's see. Okay, here's my team versus Italy, what I think is Scotland's best team. In the front row, staying with Sutherland, Brown, Fagerson. You can make an argument for starting McAnally, but let's stay Brown for now because that's how they've been going. Gives them a bit more physicality to start with. McAnally with the impact, I think, makes sense, but it's certainly very close there at hooker. Let me know who you'd start. Second row, Gray and Cummings. Definitely their best second row pairing. Gray's been playing great. Cummings is seriously impressed. So that's an easy one. Ritchie and Watson, 100%. Just absolute nailed on starters, 6 and 7. And at 8, I'd probably go for Dupree. Bring his physicality, bring his ball carrying. But, he's not out and out starter. But let's give him a go. Price will partner Weir, like I said. He's the man to the rescue. Lang carrying on, but I think I need to see a little more of him rather than just a crash ball guy because he's got the skills. And with Harris on the wing, I would definitely want to see Van der Merwe start. I want to see him with Graham, the danger men, Hogg at the back. That's a fantastic back 3, very exciting. And on the bench, Matt Fagerson to come back in if he's fit to come back in. Horn back up 9. Johnson I want to see on the bench, given a chance to fight for that centre spot with Lang, and then Kinghorn covering the back 3. Okay, let me know what you think of that team. Now for Wales. They're playing Ireland away, tough fixture. At the time of recording, I don't have the update on their squad, on their injury status, so I'm just going as it was last time, availability. A bit of a change in front row. I'm starting Wyn Jones this time with Elias and Francis. Wales do need to find their best front row. I don't think they've found it yet. They need to start physically dominating opponents, so that's going to be a big task, but there is no furlong for Ireland, so they've got a chance, I guess, but big job for them. Rowlands and Alan Wyn Jones I think stays as is. I think it is their best second row pairing, but as I said, that front 5, they've got a big physical challenge to step up and try and dominate. Because I think the number 1 priority for Wayne Pivac is to physically front up and be defensively very sound, I think you stay with Lewis Hughes. Of course they want to play rugby, they want to play this Pivac style, but they've got to start with the basics. And I've said I want to get these youngsters in. Wales need to start blooding more youngsters with their ageing squad. Big second row, Lewis Hughes, got a lot of potential. Let's give him another start along with Tipperick and Faletau. At 9, if Webb is fit, I would start Webb. I've been saying I think he's Wales' best 9. It's very close between him and Gareth Davis, but I would still go for Webb. And even if Biggar's fit, I think Patchell's the guy to start. Pivac needs his men in there. Patchell knows him inside out. He can execute a game plan for him. I think it's the way to go. If Pivac wants to get this attacking, flowing attack from the Scarlets going, get the Scarlets guy in there. Makes sense to me. Now in the centres, you can see I've gone back to where I think Wales need to go. Jonathan Davis at 12, Tompkins at 13. Not because Jonathan Davis isn't a great 13, but because I think you need Tompkins in the team to make the difference in attack. He's better at 13. Jonathan Davis still coming back from injury, a little bit slower than he was at the moment. Let's put him to 12. Could be a long-term position for him. If you want to play those two together, which I do, I want to see them this way round, see how it goes. Let me know what you think. On the wings, Liam Williams and Adam Stay, Halfpenny at fullback, perfectly fine with them. You can see that North has dropped out of the 23. I think with North, you know, it's like they say, it's a confidence issue, psychological issue. It's something he's been battling for a while. So until that's sorted, I don't think it's fair for him to come back into the team. We know his potential. Maybe he should go and play somewhere else, maybe play in Japan for a year, get his mojo back, I don't know. But I don't think it's fair to bring him into the team and bring him under undue criticism when he's clearly not quite right. Anyway, on the bench, Parry, Carey and Lee. Then Corey Hill covering second row. James Davis, I think, is probably a better impact sub rather than starting. Then Gareth Davis. Watkin, I thought, played really well in the centres last game, so he goes again. And Zamet on the bench, and we need to see him this time. Anyway, guys, that's my starting team for Wales. Let me know what you think. Let me know about all the selections, and I will catch you next time.